Hello, and welcome back to A Chick with a Plan. That's me, Mary, and I love everything planning. In this week's episode, we are here at my old family home in the dining room. The plan is to actually share with you the budget. We are joined today by my cousin, Michael Withers, who is the owner of the construction management and design firm. He will be presenting the budget to me.
Michael A. Withers, as I go by in the profession. And I've been in this particular profession over 30 years as a construction manager or construction consultant, as you would call it. Prior to this, I actually had a remodeling company before I moved into the management part of the work, and also did some architectural designing myself, but settled in on the management end. When I was about 8 to 9 years old, this is one of the homes that I lived in as a little boy with Aunt Emily and Uncle Charles. Uncle Charles started me playing basketball, which blossomed into a professional career abroad. So this house has a lot of connections for me. Brings back a lot of good memories. Yeah. Well, I believe it started with a conversation first. And Cousin Mary was not aware of the full breadth of my experience. So once we started talking and getting more background about the project, it seemed like it'd be a good fit, because there's certain type of projects that I like to do. One that are very thoughtful, well planned out, have some architectural integrity, and really try to give the client what they're looking for, which sometimes takes a little extra time, but certainly can get there. So that's what interests me. She's a planner, and that works well with this type of project, because there are a lot of moving pieces here. So she seems like she was up to the task. So that's why I dived in. Well, this is always a favorite part of the project right here. I like to think I have the most important job, because we got to bring it home for the dollars we had to spend. Now we've talked about a beautiful design, a beautiful concept, and several different things, but all that is made possible by the funding. Cousin Mary?
Yeah.
So we looked at several aspects of this project, and right now we're using the square foot method to try to bring this in for budgeting purposes. So right now we're looking at $125 to $150 a square foot as our budget for this project. As we've kind of run through conceptually, we have about 2,500 to 2,600 finished square feet. Now that discounts this space right here, because it's going to be 2-story volume. Some of that will go to our exterior improvements, because the retaining walls and the grading are going to be significant for this project. So we may have to balance off what we actually spend inside to move some of that to the outside to balance the budget. So what does that all add up to, Mike? So we're looking at, right now, we're in the $350,000 to the $400,000 window is where we're trying to keep this project. Now we spoke about many different aspects. The exterior facade of this building. We talked about the standing seam metal roof. $20 a square foot as opposed to $5 for shingles. We're looking at exterior where we may have some fiberboard as opposed to stucco. I'm a big fan of fiberboard. I'm off the stucco. I'm off the stucco train. So we want a building that has a hard base to protect the building. We want an attractive side. The fiber cement is indestructible. We want nice glass, low E type of glass. And then we start talking about our finishes. So there's certain areas we want to focus on. which would be this room here. We talk about 2 fireplaces at either end of the room. I don't know if we talk about real wood or we talk about some type of decorative fireplace or gas, but all these things we can get into to show options to try to keep us within the budget for the project. Some things we can't get around. Studs are studs. We can't negotiate the price. They're going to cost what they cost. So the materials, there's really little negotiation we can do. There's certain things we're just going to need. We can't get around it. Copper wire is copper wire. We're going to have a lot of that here. We got some down lights. There's many different types. HVAC. We have to be adequate with our HVAC system. We're sitting here today. It's a little warm, so we don't want that. A year from now, you're hosting an event and people are sitting here fanning. So we have to pay a lot of attention to our HVAC. So all those things play into the budget as we move from our SD design into our DD. Right now, we will hone in on those things. We will look at what we call VE items, value engineering, as we call it, to make sure we're staying within our budget. We'll start engaging, some of our major subcontractors. The site work is going to be key here, so we'll be talking about that. The framing, I've already started talking to my framing guy, getting this up. We're talking about the roof parapets. It has that manner or look on the outside. There's some special stuff we have to do there. So all those will impact our budget. Timing will impact our budget. So it's a very dynamic process. We call it cost monitoring these days because it's ongoing. Things change daily. And we may start out looking at a certain type of door. We may find out that there's another type that has come down in price. We may have to go grab that at that particular time. So it's a process. That's why I use a budget rather than a fixed construction number. It gives us some flexibility. So we'll give this door a value of, say, $900. Within that $900, you can find 50 doors that you like, rather than me specifying this is what you have to buy. So, so there's some things that, the walls and the framing, we're going to do that. Really, no wiggle room there. We're probably going to do 2x6 framing to make sure we have the right arbiters. You can't really get away from that. But the other things, there'll be some flexibility. You'll have a number. You can work within that number, find what you like. We put it in. And then,
love it.
Yeah, so it's a very, very flexible process. You're engaged. You got to do your part, picking the stuff, getting it here, and then we put it in. So it's a very, very collaborative process where we do this.
Fabulous. This is going to be fun. So we're looking at the $350,000 to $400,000 range.
Yeah.
And that is to include the fixings of the house, everything that we discussed, and the aesthetics.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the roofing, the tin roof, the what do you call it, the siding again?
The fiberboard siding.
The fiberboard siding, the everything we discussed inside, and then the patio on the outside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Woo! That's a pretty healthy budget. So now I have to figure out how I'm going to finance this. I will be sharing that with you in a future episode. So make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button, and I'll see you in the next one. Let's get to planning.